Welcome to Maurer Woodworking. I'm Walter Maurer. I'm going to be starting a brand new project today. I had a customer reach out to me and she was looking for a Japanese style end table, which I thought was interesting. She also wanted to use several different species of wood. So we basically decided on using cherry, black walnut, a little white oak, and a little African Padauk. So you'll see through the video how we basically incorporated all that, and it came out really nice. So let's get started. If you've seen my last video where I made my bookshelf out of black walnut, I actually had two pieces of wood left over, the ones I'm pointing to right now. That's what I'm using for this project. So I've ripped down a number of pieces of wood on the table saw. I just left that part of it out. You've probably seen it in my other videos. Here what I'm running through is actually the cherry. It was basically 1 inch thick, and I'm ripping it down to about 3/4 of an inch right now through my planer. After running the cherry and then the black walnut through the planer, I want to get this in preparation for the glue process for the black walnut because I needed a desired thickness. And as far as the cherry, get that ready for sanding for the shelf and also for the top. Here I'm using my Festool domino joiner. Basically all the support rails, you put a domino in there. You'll see it here in a second. It drills out a hole, and you have these little dominoes that you slide in there. And then you glue it together, and it provides really good strength to hold everything together. So this is a jig I created. Basically what I wanted to do is taper the ends of the support rails that I support the end table. I wanted to cut them at I believe it's at a 20-degree angle. I can't remember. But anyways, to get consistency, you make yourself a little jig like this, and you just repeat the process on all four corners for all four of the legs. This worked out really well. So this is the one side of the support rail. Just doing a dry fit to see how everything snaps together. You can actually see here when I use the domino and then the actual domino how that fits in there. When you put glue in there, that creates a bond in there. You'll never pull that apart. But like I said, I'm just doing a test fit right now. Just checking it out, and I'll be doing it on for the other side also. This is yet another jig that I built. This is I want to make sure we're able to cut. So these are the leg posts, and I need to be able to cut 2 inches into the wood to basically create the mortise and tenon. This obviously you can see it actually rides along the guide, and obviously you adjust the right height. You can get a consistent cut over and over again. There's a really close-up of it. Here I'm using my joiner on a block of black walnut. I need to square up all sides. What I'll be doing is using my bandsaw to cut very thin strips, which I'll be using for the arch for the table. I'll be doing it for white oak and also African Padauk, just preparation for that. So this machine is my Jet orbital oscillating sander. This thing works really good if you want to sand down very thin strips of wood. This wood that you're seeing going through here now is basically going to be used for the arch that I'm going to do for the front and the back of the end table. So I'll be running the African Padauk, black walnut, and I think what you're seeing right here is actually the oak right now. Okay, getting ready to steam the other arch that I need to make for the table. I did the first one, I only left it in there for 20 minutes. I think this time I'm going to leave it for about 45 minutes. That'll be able to help me with the bending process. So this is the unit. I got it set up outside my shop, which drains into the sink behind me. I'm going to put them in, and I think, yeah, we're 204 degrees, so that's perfect. I'll be able to put them in now. Get the strips. Okay. Got my gloves now. It's a little dark. Lighting is terrible here, but anyways, slide these in here. Down to 160. Perhaps you can lose the steam out of it. So I'm going to 45 minutes this time. Okay, it's at 210. It's been in there for 35 minutes. I'm going to give it another 10 more minutes. Looks good. Okay, so basically you got the strips out of the steamer and just lining things up, and then use the jig that I actually built to bend it into the desired form. I'm speeding up the video right here. But basically, I'm going to leave that in there for about 24 hours, and then the next day I'll come through and basically do the glue up and put it back in a form for another 24 hours, and that'll maintain the shape. Okay, it's been 24 hours since the pieces of wood have set in the form. I'm going to take it apart now, and hopefully it's going to maintain its shape. Okay, moment of truth. Not bad. Okay, in this step here, I'm basically chiseling out this section here. This is actually where the arc is going to go on the front and the back of the end table here, and so it's sort of, so this is going to be the arc right here. Sort of loop around and then tie in here. So I'll have the exact, I got to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm jumping around a little bit here, but now I'm focusing on the two sides, the right and left side of the end table. That's for the facade. It's basically these 3 brackets on each side, and they tie together with these square, elongated pieces of wood. And I guess the next video will actually show it when you see it on a table, what I was actually trying to go for, and trying to explain it here. Okay, here are all the components, and we're going to do a dry run, trying to put everything together, see what things we need to tweak. These are the sides. You'll see them in a moment, where this all goes together. 2 of those for 2 of the sides, the front and back, the arch, This is the base, not really the base, this is where the bottom shelf goes, so it goes over here. That snaps in there. Now obviously we've got the other sides and then three support pieces that go across here, 1, 2, 3, and then you got the top shelf. So this is the bottom support rail for the bottom shelf that'll sit on top of here. So that's in there, and I'll put the 3 supporting rails up on top. And now sides. Okay. Now do the same thing on the other side. Looks good. Perfect. So this side's up high, I gotta take a little bit off here to make it level with here. That's why I do a dry run. Put everything together, see if everything's in the square and level. But overall everything else is fine except for this one piece over here. I gotta shave off a little bit. I'll use my hand planer to do that. Okay, shaved it off, and now perfect. That's dead nuts. Beautiful. All right. Just did the initial test run here. Everything fits, and I'm going to break it down and do the glue up. Those orange discs, they'll be replaced with something else. So just give an idea. I'm going to break it down now and start gluing it up. Okay, I'm going to talk about how I make these cylinders. This is out of epoxy. I use clear epoxy, and the idea behind this is I'm actually going to use these as posts to actually support the table for the top and give that raised, elevated look. You may have seen earlier on when I was doing the initial assembly, just to see how everything fits together. I had these orange, oh, they're right here. These discs here, that was just temporarily to see how high I need to elevate the top of the table. But anyways, so I tested out poured epoxy, and I got these cylinders. Hopefully you can see them. It's clear, and the test went really well. So I'm going to be doing these. I got another 9 that I'm going to do, and basically what I did is in my case here, I used 3/4 inch PVC piping. And I use a mold release stoner. Actually got this idea from a couple of the guys at Woodcraft here in Rochester, New York. They came up with the idea, asking my need to have something cylindrical shape. And the one guy said he's been doing basically PVC. He uses 1 inch or 2 inches, depending on what he's working on. Just spray the mold release in there, close off one end of it. I'll let it sit for a couple days, and then basically what you end up doing is you just punch it out. It punches out on the other end, and you're all set to go. So came out really nice. So like I said, I'm going to do another 9, because I'm going to need 9 of them on here, and I'll show you what it's actually going to look like here in the next video. I've spoke about these. These are the cylinders that I poured with epoxy and using that PVC pipe, and the idea is that that will elevate the top shelf. And I wanted to show you, let me turn this around. So very similar to, well, exactly like this. So what I end up doing is drilling this out. I'm going to be filling this with epoxy. Set that once I get the right height correctly. I needed to do it for 12 of them. So there's 4 here, 4 in the middle, and obviously 4 at the other end. I thought this would give it a really cool effect, as though it's levitating, and it's, I mean, the top you see that's not clear, but you can see it from the side, it's pretty much clear, and that's the effect that I wanted to accomplish. All right, I'm going to drill out the other ones and then pour the epoxy in here. Okay, I'm applying the Rubio Monocoat on the bottom shelf. This is the cherry wood. Spread this out. Don't need much of it. Oh, maybe a little more than that. Only need 1 coat, but for the top, when it gets a little more, I guess, wear, I'm going to do 2 coats. I already did the bottom, so I'm going to leave that right like that for now. Clean up on my rag here, and I can. Okay. Let that sit a little bit, and you can see the difference. And actually, if I bring the other, be visual the difference. So I haven't done this one yet, so you can see the difference, how much darker it got between the two. Okay, I've mixed up some Rubio Monocoat, and I'm going to be applying it all over the end table. It's a bit of a tedious process, but you got to really work in the Rubio Monocoat into the wood, into all the crevices. And I've shortened the video so not to bore everyone on this. But the key is to get it in every area, and then let it sit for a while, and then just basically wipe it down. It's really quite an amazing product. All right, this is the final result of the end table. I got several pictures in here just to give you a perspective of the work that was involved, as you can see from the arch and from the side. So there's a lot of detail. It's probably the most challenging project that I've done so far, but really enjoyed it, and I think it came out pretty good. Now, for everyone's enjoyment, here are some outtakes of things that went wrong in the build. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, man. Cut on the wrong side. Oh, should have been down here. Damn. I have to fill that and drill it out again. Okay, it's been 24 hours since the pieces of wood have set in the form. I'm going to take it apart now, and hopefully it's going to maintain its shape.
some of
glue it,
it's
and it should be okay. Oh, damn, it's hot. Shit. I need my gloves. Jesus. All right, here's the epoxy. I already mixed it. I'm just letting it sit to get the air bubbles. I use crystal glass. I've seen a number of my videos. I show how to mix that up. So, well, guess what? I forgot to do the mold release. So I gotta dump that out, wash it out, clean it out, and mix up another batch of the epoxy. That hardens in there, you'll never get it out. You definitely need the mold release. All right, I don't know, mistake number 4 or 5 by now. Well, you made it through the entire video. Thank you. If you could do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe, I'd very much appreciate that. And leave a comment. Let me know what you liked about the project and also on the video, so I can improve on the next one that I produce. Thank you so much. Bye.